Which path will you choose?
Aaron, I'm 11.
What's your last name?
Darby.
Okay, now, you tell me this. Why do you act so stupid in school?
I don't.
Huh? No,
I
wait a
don't
minute.
act up in school.
Hey, wait a minute. Now, you always, look at me. Wait a minute. It's just like that. It's your little bullshit attitude. When somebody says something to you, you want to cop an attitude all the time. Now, you say you don't do nothing, but you know what you are? You're Mr. Sneaky. Okay, but then why do you, when someone says something to you, why do you cop the attitude?
Because they're blaming their problems on me.
Huh?
Because they're always blaming their problems on me.
Oh, but you never create any problems.
No.
Okay, it's always someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hey, I'm not talking. Huh? Do what?
Because they try to blame their problems on me.
Oh, okay, all right. Hey, give man in the middle. Give me your name and how old you are.
So, my name is Tig. I'm 11 years old. My last name is Helms.
Okay.
Looking up appropriate stuff on me.
But why'd you have detention today? You were looking on the computer at things you weren't supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Well, why did you do it? Hey, look at me and look at the camera.
Because other kids were looking at it too.
Did all the other kids get detention?
No, because they didn't get caught.
Oh, but why are you always the one that gets caught?
Because people tell on me.
People tell on you, but they're doing the same thing, huh?
What?
Huh? But are they doing the same thing? But they always tell on you, huh? But wouldn't But wouldn't it be smarter? Wouldn't it be smarter not to do the dumb things?
Yeah.
Not to get in trouble? Huh? Now, Mr. Clown, what about you? Tell me your name. Huh?
My name is Taj, and my last name is Helms, and I'm 11.
And you're 11. Okay. And what is your main problem? Why you got to be Mr. Attitude all the time?
I know, Mr.
Huh? What? Hey, why'd you have detention today? Hey, stop. Hey, Tay.
I got detention for doing nothing.
You got detention for doing nothing. Okay. Why? Hey, Tay. Hey, Tay.
I got detention because I told on Kelvin and Louise a-hole. Because they were looking on. Okay. I got detention because.
Hey, and you put the other stuff down. Go ahead.
I told on Kelvin and Louise because they were on Google looking at girls, nude girls, and so that they said that I was in it too and I wasn't. So he said when I walked into school I had the detention, and so I had detention today.
Okay, now we just met not too long ago, right? But why is it when somebody, a teacher, somebody says something to you, why do you feel that you can be disrespectful to an adult? Huh? Why do you do that? Why do you think you can do that?
Because when I get mad, I don't think about other things.
Well, hey, listen, that's what's part of the problem with all of you guys are. Hey, look at me a minute. I've been dealing with little dudes like you for the last 30 years.
What's so funny about it, huh?
Huh? But what I'm trying to tell you is this. If you don't straighten your little attitudes up, if you don't start doing something different, just like you, Aaron, I've been talking for 5 minutes and you've been paying attention to the goddamn something else over there. Just because you get a good report card and you do this, that don't make you no exception. When somebody's talking, pay attention and listen. Now, I still want to know, back to you, Tay. Huh? Because you were the one that got this whole thing started. You say you're trying to do better, right?
Yes.
But then why do you keep doing stupid stuff? Huh? How hard is it, right? But that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with all three of you. You understand? Like I said, hey, it's just like today. It's just like today.
Shut up.
It's just like today. We didn't have to take you nowhere. You see what I'm saying? But we stayed around and took you. But you acted like fools, right? Just like now, you don't want to pay attention. You don't want to listen. We ain't going to shoot no hoops today. Soon as I shut this camera off, I'm taking all your asses home. You see what I'm saying? Listen, people don't have time to bullshit in life with you.
Shoot hoops?
Huh? That we ain't going to do nothing. Like I said, but you see why? Because you don't want to listen.
I do want to listen.
listen. I am listening.
But listen, when somebody's trying to say something to you, you want to cop attitudes all the time.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Aaron.
Huh? Look, just like there. You got to get it together. You ain't got all your life to do it. It's just like tomorrow. Your mom this morning, you lied, didn't you? Didn't you?
I told you.
You lied, didn't you?
Yes.
Huh? Why? Why couldn't you just tell the truth in the beginning? Huh? It's just like dogging your mom or giving your parents a hard time. What right do you have to do that? Huh? Don't you think it's hard for them to make a living? Huh? Don't you struggle sometimes? Huh? Then why are you guys making it tougher on them? That's what I'm talking about. Like I said, I mean, you might think I'm stupid and crazy because I cuss and I scream and I yell, but I cuss and scream and I yell.
I'm not gonna wind up in jail.
Look, listen, I can take you right downtown right now and show you 15 dudes that was 10 and 11 years old that I used to deal with. They said the same thing. I ain't gonna wind up in jail. And Aaron, one thing you know, what about Michael and Sega and them dudes? Huh? You seen how they lived, didn't you? Huh?
His brother?
Right, yeah. I mean, like I said, just like him. Man, I begged him, come on, man, straighten yourself out. I tried to get this dude Pookie to come with us today, but he couldn't. You see what I'm saying?
Why?
Huh?
Was he in trouble?
No, well, he had something else. Right. But 16 years old, 2 years ago when I met him. 300 and some pounds. Could have gone anywhere. Right? Now he wound up spending a year in jail. And just think of this. And this is what's going to happen to one of y'all. And you say, oh, it ain't going to be me. But if you don't stop the dumb shit you're doing now, it is going to be one of you. That's what the police is waiting for. To be stupid so they can arrest you. And when you keep acting stupid, when you start in 5th and 6th grade not doing what you're supposed to do, that's when it starts. That's when the little things add up. Am I right or am I wrong, Aaron?
You're right.
What about your brother Anthony? What about all his friends? Ain't most of them in trouble or in jail? Huh?
They're in jail.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Like I said, the same shit you're
Either
doing.
they're in trouble.
Huh?
Either they're in trouble and on probation or something.
That's
or
exactly
in jail.
right. That's exactly right. How old are all three of you right now? Look up at me.
11.
You're 11 years old. In 7 more years, you're going to be 18. Every dumb little thing you do, you see what I'm saying, is going to be a felony. You see what I'm saying? You're going to wind up with a record. You're not going to be able to go to college. You're not going to be able to get a job because nobody's going to want to hire you. You understand? Listen, and why I'm telling you, look at me, Tay.
I'm listening.
I know it, but why I'm yelling and why I'm screaming and why I'm begging to you now, it all starts right now. If you don't change being stupid now, if you don't change your bullshit ways now, it ain't going to change next week. It ain't going to change next year. You got to do it now. Nobody else can do it for you. It's you. Let me explain one other thing to you. And you have to excuse me, young man, because I cuss and I'm old and I'm mean and all those things. But I do it because I honestly love young people. I don't want you to mess your lives up like I've seen so many of all the other young people that I've dealt with. Let me tell you one last thing to try to explain to you. Everybody, just like I'm not going to be the one to get in trouble. All of the young guys, and that's why I wanted to bring Pookie and these other guys, and even probably Anthony and his friends. All these guys say, oh man, I'm going to go try some drugs. I'm going to go try to do this. Oh man, I can do it. It ain't going to hurt me. I ain't going to fall into the trap that everybody else does. But let me explain something to you.
But you do.
Right, you do. But tell me, why do you? Why do you think people do it? You tell me. Go ahead.
Because you think that you're all cool, and when you see like someone coming up or like a cop passing by and they see you, and,
Talk louder. Talk louder.
like you think that you're not gonna get caught, but you always end up getting caught because you know that you're hiding something, and when you try and hide something, you always get caught.
Go ahead, Steve.
Because people always say that it's gonna make you feel so good, and it's because people give you peer pressure. They tell you that it's gonna be so good. Be like, dude, and then people hear like, dude, I hear that this is so good. So many people have tried it. They feel like they're like they're so awesome. I'm gonna go try it. So then they go out and go try it, and then they usually end up dead or in the hospital.
What do you?
Well, basically, like when people convince them to do it, and then that it's addicting, so they do it more and more. And then when they try to stop, they see their friends do it, and their friends convince them because they want to be cool and don't want to be like left out. So when they do it, they either do it or sometimes they say no and they get beat up and stuff. Or if they do it, they either end up in jail or dead.
But you know, he really used one of the most important words that really you guys have to start thinking about, and it's called addiction. Because once you try some of these things, once it hits your brain, once your brain has say like we just went and ate food, the sugar is good. And that's the same thing when you start using drugs. It tells your brain, oh, this is good, man, let's do it again. But it's bad for the body and it's bad for everything else. And that's the thing that I say to you guys. Never, ever, ever let somebody talk you in to trying it. Because once they do, then you're hooked. It ain't like, oh man, I'm so tough that that I'm gonna be different than everybody else. It ain't gonna affect me. Once you try it, you're doomed. Your life is ruined. And that's what's happening to so many people. I mean, and unfortunately, many times you young guys don't hear that. But like I said, Tay, you made good points about peer pressure, about different things like this. But it's one of the main things when I'm over at the high school. And Tony, ask your brother Anthony about how I'm at the high school once a week, yelling. You know how I cuss at you guys?
Oh,
Hey,
he tells me.
huh?
He tells me.
Hey, I'm at the high school with the older dudes, telling them that some of these dudes big. I tell them, hey, I'm an old man. I'll kick your ass right here, right now.
You cuss at school?
Look, I cuss everywhere I
school,
go.
man,
Huh? You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why. You see what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, man, like I said, when I got to be 18, I had to go start killing people. So like I said, man, because I went right into the military, went right to Vietnam. So like I said, man, I tell all of them, y'all can't scare me. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you know, like I said, I don't care how bad you are. You jump on me, you get ready to get your ass kicked. You know, that's the bottom line. But I just say this to you, and then we will go shoot for a few minutes. But, oh, listen. But I want the bullshit to stop. You understand? I want your little damn attitude to stop. You understand? Just because somebody says something to you, stop acting like a little bitch. Like, oh man, my feelings are hurt. I'm not just that. You know, like I said, if your grades are good, like I said, then start being a complete person. But Tay and Taj, look, you got to get more willpower. You understand? Willpower is self-control, self-discipline. Huh?
Like you're gonna stop it.
Right. Yes. And I think Tay can do better than Taj because you're a bullshitter. You see what I'm saying? You think you're sneaky and you think you're slick. But I say this to both of you guys. Start thinking of yourself and like your basketball goal at home. Start passing back and forth to each other. Make yourself, your last name again is? Elms. Make you, like I said, in 5 or 8 years, I want to see on national TV the Elms brothers, the Helms brothers starring, and Aaron, the point guard for him, and you out there somewhere.
He's on the bench.
You know, hey, look. Hey,
He's
listen.
a guard.
I don't ever want y'all to be disrespectful. Hey, look, because just like you were talking about black or whatever there in the thing, let me say this to you guys, and I've said it before. Listen. Hey, listen to what I'm getting ready to tell you. And I've mentioned before, man, back in the old days, you guys should really get books and read about slavery. Oh, look, we'll go down the truth for a while.
He was faster than a steamroller.
Hey man, we're here again with you guys and filming and trying to hope that you 3 guys will wind up making something out of your lives. You know, the last time we met with Dr.
54 pounds up there, around there, my freshman year. I was trying to play football. Didn't work out too good because I kept on getting in trouble. And it was just getting in trouble, hanging around with the wrong crew. Caught myself out there in the streets at night, trying to do things I wasn't supposed to do. I mean, I got in trouble this last time before, and did 18 months in the juvenile correctional facility. And then I got out. And then I got in trouble again. 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 And then I got in trouble again.
So what you're saying is, you're 18 years old now, and you've already been locked up for 18 months of your life,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
And
But now listen, do you hear what he's saying? He's 18. For 18 months out of his life already, he's been behind bars.
A year and
6 months. Yeah. But the sad part of this is, and as we continue to talk with Calvin is fucked. Aren't you, Cal? Huh? Calvin is fucked right now because of this. He's 18 years old. He doesn't have an education, right? He has no motherfucking skills to go get a job because he has felonies on his record. He can't get into the military, correct? Huh? Right? He can't even get student loans because of his felonies to try to go to college to get better. You see what I'm saying? And it's all because of shit that he wound up starting doing when he was your guys' ages. You see what I'm saying? This is what's important. This is why when I yell and scream at you, you see what I'm saying? It's not because I'm a mean person. It's because I don't want you to be another Calvin. I don't want your lives. I don't want any more young black boys' lives to be ruined. Wait until some of these next guys I come in and see you with. Calvin's only 18. He's been there 18 months. I'm going to bring you guys that have been in prison for 18 years. Years. Yeah. Go ahead and finish telling your story, Calvin.
I mean, basically, I was just hanging around with the wrong crew, trying to get money the hard way instead of finding a job and going to school. I was out there selling drugs and using drugs. And this last time, I just got a level 4 felony, and I'm looking at quite a few times, like a long time, but it's not long.
But you could wind up with 6 or 7 more years, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
And that, I mean, I got out wanting to change after the first time I got out, but if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And it's just little things that could get in your way down the line, where should I turn this way or turn to the good side? I just turned to the wrong side and started selling again and got in trouble. And now I'm in a predicament where next month, on the 25th, I'll probably get sentenced to 4 years because my juvenile record carries over to my adult record. So whatever you do when you're young, it still counts when you turn 18. And I mean, it's just, I know it's hard out there. Just we all got dreams. Like my dream was to go play football in college. I mean, it can still happen, but it's gonna be down the road. But just stick to your dreams.
But Cal, isn't it scary for you now? I mean, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is because, I mean, first of all, I can't get the time back what I did behind the walls. That's the most important thing. I would wish I just did everything different. If I had a second chance, I would.
The chance and fucked up again. And more than likely, if it gets another chance. See, that's really the scary part and the hard part and the sad part that the white man doesn't understand. He doesn't understand addiction. It's like you, Cal. When you started getting high and stuff, you kept craving it, didn't you? Wasn't that, right? Man, I want some more of that. I want some, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's stronger than what you are, isn't it? And that's what I say to you young guys. Listen, look at me. Look at me. Hey, but listen, look at me for just 1 minute. Listen, look, Dick. Never, ever, ever try drugs the first time. Because regardless of how strong you think you are or how tough you think you are, you can't control it, can you, Cal? It controls you. Go ahead.
I'm allergic to alcohol.
Well, that's good, but hope you're allergic to other drugs too when you get older. But
How come you going to 4 years?
no, open your mouth and go ahead.
How come he's going to jail for 4 years?
Explain to it, Cal.
Well, I had got out and I was on correctional release for 18 months, and I messed that up. So regardless, I mean, I got a new charge, possession of cocaine. I was out there trying to sell cocaine and sold it to the wrong person, and I got in trouble for it. Basically, just trying to make fast money the wrong way instead of get a job. I was out there selling.
But Cal, tell them something else. These dudes that are Mr. Slicks and pushing the shit, they really aren't your friends, are they?
No.
Huh?
'Cause they really ain't your friends, because once you get locked up beyond the walls in the county, prison, anywhere, they ain't gonna call you. They ain't gonna put money in your books. They ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna write you. I mean, it only takes 5 minutes to write a letter, but they ain't gonna write you.
Who puts money on your books?
Mr. CORNEL Hutton did.
Look, like I said, I just met this nigga walking up and down the hall, didn't we?
Yeah.
I said, hey man, how you doing? Oh, yeah. How's your grade? Yeah. Right? Then I try. What did I tell you two the other day? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Cal, look in that ground. Listen to me. But do you understand where I'm coming from? Hey, do you understand? Huh? I don't want no more messing up from you guys. You understand me? Move back a minute so I can see her. You understand me? Huh? I don't ever want to see no C's and D's. Well, that's all right, but they have, and I don't want, but it's just like your brother. Like I said, man, I met Cal at the high school a couple years ago, and then once he wound up getting locked out, like I said, me and him kept writing. I wish you could read the letters, and I saved a lot of them that he did write, but I asked him, I said, Cal, write a letter to the other students at Central High School, tell them what you're going through, so maybe one of them won't do the same thing. But this is the letter the dude wrote. Go ahead, Cal.
Hello, my name is Calvin Frinsley. Some of you know me as Pookie. Well, I'm going to start off by saying my life story. My life on the inside, these walls, which when I was locked up, well, all 2008, 2009, I was on the house, outside the walls, stealing, robbing from people and selling dope, weed, that kind of stuff to make money to help my mom. I didn't think it was hurting anybody, but deep inside it was hurting me and the people I robbed and stole dope and sold dope to, and my family from being on the inside of these walls. Well, I would be here talking about my life story all day. Well, on the inside, these bars are nothing fun. You wake up 6 a.m. every morning, weekends, holidays, having correctional officers telling you when you use the bathroom, when you can come out your room, when you go use the phone, when you can watch TV, and what you can watch. Well, on East Wing, that means I'm locked down 22 hours a day, 1 hour for yard, and TV, and 15 minutes for a cold shower. And they tell you when you can eat, and they tell you when you can sleep. Well, hope all of y'all that read this letter, listen to the letter. It's funny to be out with your family and sleeping in your own bed and eat what you want, watching what you want, and using the bathroom when you want, and being out your room when you want. This is life on the inside the walls, and I hope this letter helps all y'all in y'all lives, and God's bless.
Thanks, Cal. Hey, now listen, man, we're gonna get ready and wrap this up and get on out of here. Well, no, listen. Like I said, man, y'all don't realize, first of all, really the predicament that this brother's in. And like I said, man, I'm gonna try to do everything I can to stick with him, help him get through this shit, and help him make something of his life. You see what I'm saying? You know, remember the last letter you sent, man? It's like you was getting ready to, you was down and out, this is all over, right? And then you was out here a week later. But the thing is this, Cal, don't give up on yourself yet. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, man, we got to try to find some way to hope that this judge will be lenient enough to give you a better alternative than sending you back to prison. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, if you get that opportunity, man, like I said, man, you can't blow it this time, Cal. You see what I'm saying? But and just like I tell these guys, you know, you got to get the GED book and start. You got to make yourself smarter. It's just like some of the letters you wrote, the poor ass penmanship, the poor ass writing, the misspelling. I asked you guys about math, and I'm gonna get you guys. Hey, stop rocking me because it picks up on here. Some flashcards about math, because math is one of the things that starts pulling particularly young black males down. So we really have to do a better job in those areas. But again, like I said, I just can't say enough to Tay, Taj, and Aaron, right? That this little documentary that I'm making, right, is really hoping that, like I said, that you guys will make something of your lives. You see what I'm saying? And be very, very productive people. Because again, America, black, just like Timmy talked about, the man said the community is proud. You see what I'm saying? That's what we have to do. You have to make the community proud of the young black men that are there, and really, so they're not afraid of us. So that, because one of the other things that's sad, just like about when I yell about you, how you act out in the restaurant and stuff, that's why white men doesn't want to hire us. You see what I'm saying? They don't think we have any responsibility, or that we are responsible people, because people that have come before you have quit the job in 2 days, not done the right things. So like I said, you have to understand, you're facing a lot of negatives in life because you are black men, all right? So like I said, man, I say this from the bottom of my heart, like I said, stay on track.
My name is Ronald Briscoe. I'm 29 years old. I would say from the age of 14 to 22, did a lot of in and out group homes, emergency children's shelters, Wichita Children's Home, back and forth to JDC and county jail.
This message is for Tay, Taj, and Aaron. They couldn't be with me today while we're filming this, but I've known Ronnie ever since he was small. I've known his brothers. And like I said, man, this message is just for you guys about how to straighten up your life. What would you say to the young guys that are going the wrong way, Ronnie?
Man, there's a different road out there, man, and it's better being incarcerated and trying to fit in with your friends who think they're tough. Tough guys is gonna get you nowhere, man. I got 2 brothers now. Both of them are incarcerated. Both of them are in gangs. Both of them have been there since they were children. Never really had a chance to spend time with each other.
Are they older than you?
They are older than me by 2 years and by 4 years. And got nephews and nieces that they never get to see. My oldest brother's doing 63 years in prison. These police out here don't care, man. They'll turn you into a slave again. It's best, man. Be a child. Be a young man. Go to high school. Get that experience. Go to college. Get the education that you need to be about something and to be somebody great. Have nice cars and have a house that you own and a beautiful, beautiful wife because you've earned it, not because you've taken it, or because or not something that they can come and take back from you.
But Alfonso's serving 63 years.
Yeah.
So he's probably 33 right now.
Alfonso's 33 right now.
And he's probably spent already how many years in prison?
Alfonso did 14 years in prison. And actually he did 11 years in prison and he got out. And just getting caught up with hanging out with the wrong kind of people, being in the wrong place at the wrong time is what really put him back in prison for the rest of his life. There's a code that these criminals run by where you're not supposed to tell and you're not supposed to talk about what really happened. And a lot of men are doing a lot of good men are doing a lot of hard time because of the code that they live by. So just him being around those same guys and thinking he can hang out in that same environment and still thinking that he wasn't doing anything wrong, still got him put in a situation to where he's facing the rest of his life in prison.
On a bullshit situation.
On bullshit, man. On bullshit. Something he didn't even do.
That's why I'm trying to do this little documentary, and it's going to be called A Message to Black Boys. Hey, man, you got to turn your shit around.
That's right.
Yeah, man, and like you said, the popo is waiting on us.
They're waiting on you, man. They want to make slaves out of us. They want us working for $60 cents a day. Now, if that, they want you to build their prisons. They want you to come in. They want you to be incarcerated and build a place for you and all your friends who y'all out here thinking y'all doing something big. It's minor. They're watching you and they're waiting on you.
You know, one other thing, Ronnie, and why I wanted to really get you and to talk to you, because your grandmother was one of the most unique people in this community.
Yeah.
How heartbreaking, because you saw the heartbreak in her eyes.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell them, man.
Definitely, man.
It isn't
I'm
just.
gonna tell you, that's the main reason why I changed it up. You know, a lot like how Judge Mathis, I watched Judge Mathis, I believe in what he says. He says he was a gangbanger, he was on the streets. His mother told him that she had cancer. He changed it up because he wanted to make her proud. Once I seen my grandmother was so far in age and that she wasn't gonna bounce back, I wanted her to know that I wouldn't be out here living like that. I wanted her to know that she was already beginning to tell me how much she was proud of me for changing. And even to this day, everybody, that's how I know she's even proud of me now. People around me tell me, your grandmother would be so proud, and that's all I want. That's all I want was to make her proud.
You know, man, I tell you, one of the most unique things for me, the first day I came by here to try to see you, your wife said he's sleeping now because he works at nights.
That's right.
And I told her what I wanted, and she said, well, every time he sees dudes coming up and down the street, he's always getting after them. Straighten your ass up, straighten your ass up. You know,
That's right.
And that's how I used to be with you, wasn't it?
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you remember the days back in the day, man, particularly with Alfonso, because I had him on my ball teams, who's going to spend life, right? What was it? I was preaching the same thing, wasn't I, man?
He was.
Huh?
That's right, man. Even now, I got a lot of friends who I grew up with, man. Best friends, grew up with. We played on the team together for you.
Right on.
In prison.
Right on. And we'll
doing
spend
hard time.
And we'll spend many years
We'll
there.
be there for a long time off of foolish mistakes, man.
Now, really, and we're going to wrap this up, but Ronnie, you talk about your brother Preston, you talk about your brother Alfonso, but your father is also in jail, isn't he?
He was.
He's
not
out now.
He is out.
Very good.
He's out and he's in D.C.
How long has he been out?
He's been out for about a year.
See, I didn't know that.
Maybe
That's
a year and a half or so.
But now your dad's probably. I'm 63. Your dad's probably 50 something, somewhere in there.
He's
But
about 62.
he's 60. Okay, so
Maybe a little younger.
But he's
59.
spent how many years of his life in prison? Would you say?
All of my childhood, in and out of prison.
All of your
Yeah,
childhood.
in and out of prison. I was raised by my grandmother, by my aunts, by my mother.
So basically, he's my age, just getting out of prison. So he's probably spent at least 40 years, maybe?
Man,
30?
I could say at least
30 something?
37 or so, yeah.
Right. But isn't that, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Huh? But
Man, he missed a lot.
But just,
He missed a lot.
I mean, but just think in your family, a father that spent 30 years, a son that got 63 years that probably won't live that long,
Right.
Another son. But one thing, Ronnie, and this is what this is about, is to show these young boys there is a different way.
There
And
is.
even when you fall by the wayside, you can pick your shit up and do what you did.
Get it together, man.
Huh?
It's work, but it's worth it, man. It's worth it to own your own home, own your own cars, not have to worry about the cops, whether or not they're looking at you. Ain't got no reason to look at you, man. It's worth it.
Right on.
It's hard work, but that paycheck and being able to take care of your own, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
Listen, but this is why not being able to control yourselves, these are the things that are going to keep getting you in trouble. Okay, now what would your teacher do? She'd throw you out of the room now, wouldn't she? Huh? Or he, but they'd throw you out, but they would throw you out the room, wouldn't they? Why, what would they do?
Give me a warning?
Yeah, but the next time they'd throw you out the room.
Yeah.
But listen, you would keep doing stuff to get the next number. You see what I'm saying? Because it's just like him. Just got out of jail and did something to go right back. Didn't you, Cal? Huh? And more than likely, go and do something else and go back again. You told me what it was like being in that little cell, didn't you? Think of spending your life there. That's what's happening. But that's what's happening to young black men. They're spending their whole, right, Cal? Aren't they?
Yeah.
Huh? for not listening, for being stupid. Now listen, but like I said, y'all just sit back and listen to Mr. Martin, because me and him want to talk a little bit, but let him tell the story. Let me start out. This is Timmy Martin. I met him in probably 1972 or 1973 when I started working at the Salvation Army gym. He was probably about you guys' size. I'll never forget the first night. The dude who was the captain of the Salvation Army said, man, he's got a lot of tough boys down here and they don't know how to act. Man, I'll never forget, I had a big set of keys and we had the first little meeting and somebody was doing just like you were, running their mouth and acting stupid. Remember what happened, Timmy?
Right.
Tell them.
They're just acting up. It's been a while. But I know, they got in trouble about it, but it's just been a while.
But I wound up throwing the keys. I slung the keys across the room and everybody looked at me like, this old man is crazy. Remember that?
That's right.
But
yes.
yeah, he tried to nail him.
Yes.
But tell him how it was, Tim.
And
Listen.
But it was a good group. We had some guys in there that was going the wrong way, didn't want to pay attention, didn't want to act right. And when Mr. Hutton came on the scene, I'm blessed that I come from a good family. So I wasn't necessarily in the program because of acting up. I was there because we was part of the Salvation Army and just really giving the support to some of my friends, because my friends were real in trouble a whole lot. So when Mr. Hutton came on the scene, some of them were like, who this guy? Because he came in there, and probably with you all, he didn't mince words. He came in there right from the beginning, just being himself. And some of those guys were like, well, who's this guy? He don't know us, such and such. But he showed right from the beginning that he was serious and that it was going to be his way or no way. And hopefully we were going to act right and he's going to put on that straight path to see just how life was. And that's how it was. We had a good group. We went to a lot of activities, a lot of getting to know each other through Mr. Hutton, him exposing some kids to things that they've never been exposed to as far as going places. For some of them, just the idea of going to the Kansas Western to the swimming pool. Some of those kids never been there. So, it was just a big thing. Hey, let's go. We got his own vehicle. Let's go. We get in here and we ride over there. But it was just a big thing that he just put his time in just to try to mentor the kids that needed help. And some of them still went astray. Some straightened up. But it was just the program and what he's offering to you all, just to let you see how rough it is in this world, especially for a black man. I never go around saying so much now, it's the white man's fault or whatever else. You can't place blame all the time on something else. You got to find it within yourself. And that's how it was. But some of those guys could never accept the fact that they were doing the wrong thing, didn't want to get back straight, didn't want to act right, and they ended up going to prison. Ended up, first of all, juvenile. I don't know, the juvenile detention, whatever else, for a number of times, and then from there they end up spending time in prison. I've got some good friends. I've got some good friends that grew up in my house. Come to the house, my parents would let them come in the house, wouldn't think nothing about it. We could leave, and my dad was like Mr. Hutton. He was well respected. People knew who he was. My dad allowed people to come into that house that was breaking and entering in other people's houses, stealing. But he knew, they got respect for me. They're not going to come in here and act up. My family, me and my brother, my mom and dad, we would leave and go somewhere to eat in Salina. My dad would ask him, hey, you want to go? Oh, no, thank you, Mr. Martin. And my dad would allow this person to stay in our house till we got back home. And know the fact that now this boy, which was one of our friends, he might have just got in trouble a week ago for stealing something. And we would say, Daddy, you gonna leave him in there? And that's our friend, like, Daddy, man, we know, you know your buddies. You know how your buddies are. And we'd be like, Daddy, you gonna let such and such stay in there where we go? He said, son, it's a learning situation for everything. You mean tell me that boy can come to our house every day and he gonna steal from us? If he do, then he need to steal from me. He need to steal from us then. Instead of him going out to somewhere else and maybe getting his head blown off, going to somebody's house, he need to come in here and let him steal everything out of our house. Then maybe he'd be satisfied. But with no problem. The boy didn't touch nothing. We got back home maybe like an hour later. The boy's down there watching TV, got ready to leave. Thank you. The next day, he's just, man, that made me feel good, man. You guys let to go eat. And Your dad let me stay there. But it was just a respect thing. And hopefully you all gonna see that through Mr. Hutton, the time he invested in you, that you got to take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself, nobody's gonna take care of yourself. People don't care. There are people out there that don't care how you guys act. They hope you get in trouble. They hope that you get in trouble. And that's not worth it. You're gonna see when you get older. I'm married with a son. You're gonna see when you get older and have family, like, man, I see what this was all about. I see what this was all about. Going through what you're going through now, and hopefully going to do the right things to make yourself be better and to have something not only for yourself but for your family. Because I guarantee you, you're going to grow up and have kids, whether you're married or not. You're going to produce a child. You're going to bring a child in this world. Watch and see. Whether it's by the same girl, you may not end up with her. But there's too many youth that when they get a certain age, they're having babies, and then the boy walks away and leaves the mom to raise for that child. And that's not right. You got to be there for them. So you're gonna see. Hopefully you're gonna be ready to take care of your child, and not only yourself but your family.
Hey, excuse me, Timmy. That's one thing that I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about, and I tell the dudes at the high school and everywhere else. Just like he said, one of these days you are going to have a family. And really the important thing, and particularly as far as us as black men, when we do, keep your family together. That's the most important thing, man. I don't know everything. I don't know much of anything. But that's one of the things that I think hurts us as black people more than anything else. We don't have no dads at home. Nobody there. Cal, what do you call me now?
Pops.
Right? Hey, man, look, when his ass was in, how many other people wrote you every month?
Nobody.
Huh?
You.
Who would send you money?
You.
Huh?
You.
Right? Right. We just met a couple of years ago, didn't we, Cal? Like I tell you, man, you don't know, just like when I cuss all the time, it's just like I said, man, because some of these other people I'm going to introduce you to, I've been screaming this shit. Timmy, you said you're what, 50 years old now?
I'm 50 years old now.
He's 50 years old. Think, if I was with him when he was a little kid yelling at his ass like I'm doing you, think how long I've been doing this. Think how heartbreaking it is for me to keep seeing all of the young men that I talk to wind up in fucking jail. Yeah. It's heartbreaking. Yeah. And the thing, just like he said, man, you young black men are a business. You're a business to be put in jail so that people can keep making money. It's just like people that keep getting divorced, right? There's nobody there to tell families to stick together because the lawyer don't make no money that way. He wants y'all to mess up and break up. That way he gets paid, right? Like I said, like when we were out eating today, I know you guys get frustrated when I yell and act stupid, but one thing you don't understand, when you're out in a restaurant, you see what I'm saying? People look at us. Why do you think people don't like black people? It's because of the way we act. Yeah. It's the dumb shit that we're doing. It's the fools that, am I right, Cal? Huh? When you walk around with your drawers showing, right? Being Mr. Cool and ain't got a dime in your pocket. You see what I'm saying? That's sad, but that's what we're doing. Like I said, if you guys don't change and break this mold, man, when is it going to stop? Like you. None of you guys, none of you. Your original father's is there, is he? Where's your real dad?
Don't know.
Don't know? So you don't know because these are twins. Huh?
He's in Lawrence or Topeka.
He left.
Has he been in jail?
No.
What about your dad?
I don't know. Prison.
Your real dad's in prison? Huh?
Every time he gets out, he goes right back.
What about your real dad, Cal?
In Virginia, don't want nothing to do with me.
Has he ever been in prison?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
See, listen, that's what I'm going to show you guys with some of the other people that we're going to meet here in the next couple of weeks. The whole family of males have been in prison. You see what I'm saying? All of you. So what it's saying is, just like Cal, his dad's already been there. He's been there. That's two of that generation. So that means, just like you, one of y'all might wind up just like your dad. Don't you think how sad that is?
I don't know my dad because he left us 6 months.
He left when, yeah. But isn't it weird for you not having a dad? I know, yeah. That's why we're buddies, isn't it? Huh? You like, there you go. Hey, and like I tell you, I love y'all. Just like I tell Cal, y'all ain't mine, right? Huh? Huh? Calvin, tell them, don't I walk up and down the halls at the high school handing out $5 bills?
You do.
Huh? Don't I? People, but wait a minute. Kids that I don't know, isn't it? And what is it asking them to do, Cal?
Work harder on the schoolwork.
Huh?
Work harder on schoolwork.
Right. Huh? When we first met, didn't we? Huh? Man, didn't I used to buy your groceries? Huh? Right? We'd have sacks and sacks when you said, hey, Mr. Hutton, I need groceries, didn't you? Huh? But you fucked me, didn't you? Remember that time? No, listen, I'm being honest. But listen, because he was down. He was down. Because he asked for something, I said no. Remember you said on the phone, fuck you, didn't you? And what did I tell you? Wait until I catch your ass in the street. Because like I said, man, I'm 63 years old now. I ain't got much of a life left. You see what I'm saying? But I'm tired. I don't want to see no more. I don't want to see this happen to nobody else. You understand? And one last thing with Mr. Martin. Timmy, tell him about your boy.
So I sat there, and I graduated, I sat there and wondered how come my oldest brother, 10 months apart, he didn't finish college. Just went and got a job and started working. But when I was at graduation, I looked and saw my dad and my brother crying and wondered why they so sad, what's up? But they were so glad to say, man, one of our males done got a college degree. That means something for a family. And you're going to see for yourself, that will mean something. So with that, now I got a son. So my whole foundation of life has changed. The same values that was given to me from my mom and dad, and from people like Mr. Hutton and the Garnhires and some other Williams, people that instill values in me, now I'm giving those same values to my son. I got a wonderful woman. A good man with a good woman, you know, it's hard to take away. It's hard to break that mold. It's hard to break it up. So with that, my son's in school. It starts early. Ever since elementary school, nothing but A's. Nothing but A's. When he got in middle school, nothing but A's. When I say A's, nothing lower than 95. So my son has gone all through school with no grades under a 95. He got to be middle school. I said, well, son, right when he graduated when 8th grade was over with, going into the 9th grade, I said, son, here where it begins now. This is where your grades matters now, as far as valedictorian or salutatorian. You know, valedictorian is the #1 person in the graduating class. Salutatorian is the second smartest person with the highest grade point average. So we said, son, you finished up 8th grade with the highest grade point average. So now 9th grade starts it. So hopefully you're going to continue on. And we set the foundation for him. He kept working hard. Every year he was tops in his class. 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, going into his 12th grade. And this is the whole time now playing basketball. So you can't say just because you're playing sports, your grades got to take a back seat. No, they don't. I heard many people say, man, parents tell me, my son just having a hard time. He's going to have to let this basketball go because of his grades, because he's not studying, his grades are falling down, and basketball's keeping him from that. You know, I said, no, what is your child doing? We have him for basketball practice for 2 hours out the day. What are you doing as a parent to have your kids studying or whatever else the rest of the time? So my son, you can't do that for excuse. My son played AAU basketball from 6th grade all the way up till 12th grade. His grade stayed #1 in the classroom. So you can still participate and do your work. He'd leave practice, he'd come home and study just like he was at practice. He'd put more practice time in with his books than what he did with playing basketball. So you three playing basketball can't tell me one day when you get older, I see you, you know, how come, well, Mr. Martin, the grades for 2 months school kept me burdened down where, you know, and playing basketball held me back some. No, I don't want to hear that. That's not true. Going into his 12th grade year, he was #1. I said, son, we're about to the end, son. I said, if you can maintain #1, you're going to be valedictorian. The end of his senior year, we sat up there. The grades came out. Everybody knew who was #1. Sat up there, the teacher come, the counselor come in, and had a meeting with all the seniors, and she says, by law, I can't tell you who the valedictorian And salutatorian is because the final grades are not out, but I think you all know, and one of the white students yelled out, yeah, we know who it is, Will. That's my son's name, Will. We all know who it is, Will. Ain't no secret about it. And she said, well, I can't still say. Y'all may know, but I can't say. So all the students knew who it was. So when it was actually confirmed to us, you know, you just couldn't believe the feeling that we had as far as him being number one in high school in the classroom. Number one in his class. Number one, a black male. A black male. At this school, there's only been 2 African Americans to ever be valedictorian. One was in 1995, and that was the year before I got there. I've been at this school now 18 years, and that was the year before I got there. This young man is now is on his way to, I think he is officially now a doctor. The second black African American to be valedictorian, and both of them are males. You just kind of imagine how people felt. Oh man, another African American, a male. Where this ain't supposed to be. 2 out of this was history. 2. And my son's gonna be on the record books at that valedictorian. Okay? And the feeling I had, because my mom and dad lives here in Salina. That's why I'm here now. I'm here for a month. But every time they called out something, here come my son getting a plaque, getting a plaque, getting a plaque. So just the feeling, and to have my mom and dad there, not just me, to have my mom and dad there. So a lot of things that you guys can go through when you get older, it's not going to be for yourself, but it's going to be for others, whether it's parents or your children or aunts and uncles. You know, it's for other people. So we sit up there on graduation night, and the look that my parents had when my son was up there in front of everybody giving the graduation speech. Black male giving the graduation speech in front of all these people.
And that's what we'd like to see one day from you, one of you guys.
And it's just a feeling. It's just a feeling that we had. It's just a very feeling that we had. There was an older black man there. My dad at the time was 71 years old when he came to see my son graduate. There was a man there seeing his granddaughter, and he was probably up in his 80s. And then after the fact, when it was over with, he told my dad. He come to my dad and said, that sure is a good feeling, coming to this graduation to see my granddaughter, but to see a black, not only a black, but a black male up there giving a valedictorian speech. And my dad said, that's my grandson. And the man said, what? And he said, I need to shake your hand. He said, do you know what that means? He said, I'm from this community. I was born and raised here in Colquitt till I moved away. And he said, you know the feeling I had when I was watching that young man give the graduation speech? Yeah, I'm here to see my granddaughter, but I sat there with emotions, seeing not only an African American, but a black male up there giving the graduation speech. He said, this is what this community, do you hear me now? This is what this community needed. Not my family, but the community needed to see that we can do something, because my son is going to be an example for all the little black males coming up in that town now. You know, their parents going to be saying, hey, if Will can do it, you can do it, apply yourself.
Lauren, we've known each other, we go back a long way, all the way back with Timmy Martin, because you and him went to school. And
yeah, we go back about, I'll say a little over 30 years.
Right on.
Yeah.
Lauren, if you would, man, like I said, this is for these young boys. The name of this program or documentary I'm making is going to be A Message to Black Boys. Man, you've been incarcerated before. You told me that they used to have like a Scared Straight type program.
Yes. It was basically a care program.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know,
Tell these young dudes about that.
These youngsters were ranged from like 11 to 14.
Sage age group is Taj, Aaron, and Ted.
The only thing that I really, was discouraged about the program, because they left all the older boys out. Some of the ones that had already been to YCAT Youth Center at Topeka, they would say they were already lost causes.
At that young of an age.
Well, the first time I remember joyriding, that was my first time that I ever got in trouble with the law. And that was at the time that I went on my first Scared Straight tour. And I went to Hutton Correctional Facility, which was I'm trying to think what it was called. It was called KSIR, Industrial Reformatory. And as I went through that facility, somewhere along the way I didn't
really pick up the things that should have been picked up at that time, which finally led me into getting in trouble again. Next time I got in trouble, I ended up in the youth center at Topeka. I spent a year at the youth center at Topeka for assault on an officer. That cost me another year of my life. And then I got out in 1978. That would happen in 1978 when I got out. Then I got in trouble again. This would be my first felony that I've ever committed as an adult. It cost me 2 to 20 years in probation. Okay, and then after that, I lived the probation down, and the next case I got, okay, then the next time I got in trouble would have been in 1985, which cost me 15 years of my life. At that time, I was sent to prison for aggravated burglary, aggravated battery, and there was a rape conviction. Okay, at that time, I was 27 years old. Prison wasn't an easy place at that time. You know, you have to either fight, you know, for your survival, to get along. You have to be a thinker. I believe that no child should have to ever go through that stage. And I say child because at that time my maturity level was still at the same level as it was when I was a child. At that time, that's when, you know, all the things that my mother ever told me, everything she ever told me, I just kind of just blew off. She don't know what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? These things were minute to me. You know what I'm saying? It seems like that just because my parents helped me so much to get out of all the trouble that I was in, one day it came to the point where they couldn't help me. And at that time,
And that was heartbreaking for them, wasn't
it
it?
was heartbreaking for them. My mother changed her life completely behind that one incident. She felt that she had lost her child, you know, like as in death. You know what I mean? My mother fainted in that courtroom, and, you know, I didn't know this till maybe, I think I got out in August of 2000. My older brother really gave me the rundown on how much that, you know, changed my mom. You know, and at that time, my thought process was when I was committing crimes and doing all the things that I shouldn't be doing, that I'm gonna get out of it anyway. But at this time, it didn't happen. Like I said, I was 27, basically a young adult. You know, this whole life was 15 years. They gave me a 25 life. You know, I was looking at the Habitual Criminal Act, which is getting 3 felonies back to back. And I was looking at 3.5 life sentences, but at that time the judge felt that I was a relatively young offender and that I could, you know, be somehow rehabilitated to the point that he couldn't, you know, really want to give me that much time. So as I went through them years, I started picking up the things that I should have picked up when I was a youngster. You know, as far as the trouble that I was getting into, I changed that. Even in prison, I mean, there's trouble there. You know, you can get in all kinds of trouble in prison. There's drugs, there's alcohol. You know what I'm saying? There's all these things that go on there because you're in a place with a bunch of dysfunctional people. Every one of those people that have been there are just like me when I was a youngster and as an adult. And it's even to the point to where some of those guys that I was locked up with were some of the guys that I did time in the youth center with, had been in prison 5, 6, 7 years before I even came, and back out and back again.
But you know, I don't want to break your train of thought. But and that's like with this documentary. That's one of the sad things. Young black men or young black boys, before they get a chance to see what the world is about, is taken away from them.
Right. And you know, I think that I mean, it comes from a lot of broken homes, and I didn't come from a broken home. But I feel that there's a lot of other things that are in place of that. You know, your thoughts, feelings. All those things play a part into it. How you know, what kind of household you came up in, but that doesn't make you have to follow
right
that, you know,
the wrong road.
That wrong road.
Right.
You know, there's always positive. You know, if you're sitting 27 years old in prison, how much positive did I see? You know, how much positive could I see? Because everything around me was dysfunctional. You see what I'm saying? But I changed. I got my GED when I went in there. I went to 2 years of college before they took college out of the institution, and which was a bad thing. You know, that they are to the point where the economy's so bad they don't even offer GED except for 3 places in the state now. You know, and I just say to myself, what are those kids going to do? They're 18, 19, some of them 17 years old, and they're not going to even be able to gain that education, not even to the 12th grade level, while they're incarcerated. It's to the point that I don't believe that they're about rehabilitation. You know, and it's really sad.
It's a business, isn't it?
It's a business.
Yeah, with
It is definitely
young
a
black
business.
men is a business.
It's a business. And it's really sad because I've seen it. I've seen people go to prison and think that I got a year, 2 years, and turn it into 20 years before they even get out. And now
On a bullshit situation.
On a bullshit situation,
Yeah.
and they're stuck.
Yeah.
There's nothing no one's going to do, and there's nobody's willing to do.
Well,
you were there.
Well, today is 8/8/11, and you have a parole. You got to see your parole person today, correct?
Yes, I do. And I have, like I said, I have a 25 to life, and I have a lifetime parole. So that means that I did 15 years in. I've been out going on 12 years, so I've got actually the whole front number of that 25 to life done inside the facility and outside the facility. And a lifetime parole means that whenever they decide to let you off, life means life. But as I go along and I keep my life in order, I always have the opportunity to get out, just like being in prison. When they give a young black man 25 to life, 25 to life means life to me. So I didn't know when I was going to get out. Today, the rules are different, but I came up under the old system where you had to see a parole board. And that parole board would pass you 3 years. You could do that front number and it'll still be passing you for 3 years. There's some people that I know.
So you're always under the gun.
Always under the gun.
Always under
Never,
the gun. The rest of your life you will be under the gun.
Under the gun.
Right. Hey,
So like,
now, excuse me. Now again, this is what you young boys have to understand. You know, it isn't about just doing your time or being, like I said, you can be under the gun for the rest of your life. And as we're going to move on with this interview, the bullshit situations, because here's really one of the unique things about Lauren and why I'm so thankful that Lauren is willing and did this interview with me. Lauren has a son named Antoine Pierce, right?
yes, sir.
We're going to go on in the last interview and we're going to see a guy named Terrence Newman, who is a professional athlete with the Dallas Cowboys right now. But this man's son, Antoine Pierce, I say to everybody, him and a young man named William Gardner could have been the greatest athletes ever to come from Salina, Kansas.
Yes, they could.
I'm going to tell you one other real quick story before we go on and you start talking about Antoine. Antoine got out. Me and Antoine always hugged, always. But I said, Antoine, I said, man, once you ran away and your grandmother told me to find you and take you to the police station, and I took him there, no hassles. And when he got out, I said, Antoine, I said, man, you used to beat up anybody. Everybody was afraid of you. The cops was afraid of you. I said, man, but you never turned on me, Mr. Hutton. He said, man, you always showed me love. I was always cussing and yelling and screaming the same way I do with Tay Taj and Aaron and these young boys that's in this document. It is heartbreaking. Look, man, this guy Pookie that's in here, I don't know, his name is Calvin Frensley.
Yeah,
16, he's 18 now.
Yes.
Man, he was in this. I told the motherfucker, I said, 2 weeks after we do this filming with these boys, your ass is going to be locked up again. He locked up again, Lauren.
Yes, he is. I've seen him,
Yeah.
and I know his mother.
Yeah. Now listen, Lauren. Tell these young boys about Antoine and how his situation and what's happening. Go ahead.
I will start by saying that Antoine is my son. I never had an opportunity to raise him because I was in prison. Antoine was 5 years old when I went to prison. He was an adult when I got out, and he had already been to the federal penitentiary. He had did 8 years in the federal penitentiary. After being to the juvenile facility and moving on to the 8 years that he did in the feds. Now Antoine got out of the feds and he's not been out 2 years and he's doing a 4-year sentence in Ellsworth Correctional Facility. Now, this goes to show that I know my son was athletic, even though I wasn't there to raise him, but I would always speak to him on the phone and try to tell him, hey man, don't follow my footsteps. He would never listen to his mother. He would never listen to his grandmother. He would want to do things the way he did it, and it cost him just like it did me. Up until, I think, 2008 is when he got out. He was 17 or 18 years. He had just turned 18 years old when he got that federal sentence. He got out in 208, somewhere around August of 208, moved to Wichita, was doing okay, went back on a parole violation because he's not wanting to follow the rules. Now, he is in a dire situation where he's looking at 28 years in prison for attempted second-degree murder because he's a gang member. And it hurts me because when he was here, I would try to tell him about the people that he was hanging around. But those people are not the people to hang around with. He would not listen. My son fought me, swung on me, and I told him I would never, never put my hands on my child. I was here to protect you. Then I wouldn't talk to him for a month or so after that, and finally he came to me and he apologized to me. But not before he caught another charge, which is where we really became close, because now he knows that all the things that I ever told him holds true. All those friends that you think you have, they're not your friends. When you look for somebody to send you money while you're locked up, they're not sending you nothing. They're going to continue to do whatever they do. But the first thing, when they come to prison, the first thing they're going to do is come to you and say, "What's up, dog?" We can't be. We can't be, because the simple fact is you weren't trying to help me then, and you sure ain't trying to help me now. There's always somebody wants something, whether it's your life, whether it's your money, whether it's your time, which is important to you. No one but you. Gang members don't have your time. That is not your family. They are not your family. They will destroy you. They will tell on you. They will do all those things to save themselves. You are worthy of more than that. Just like I explained to Anton at this point now. I visit him weekly in Saline County Jail to try to get him to see that I know you're in trouble and it's costing us. You know, it cost me $2,000. It cost my mom $2,000. It cost his grandma $6,000 just to get a lawyer to help him get by these things that he's going through. But if he has 28 years, he is just now 30 years old. So that's going to make him, 48 years old by the time he even thinks about coming home again. That has got to be the saddest thing in life, because his grandmothers are in their 70s. You know, my dad is in his 80s. I'm in my 50s. So if he gets 28 years, he may never see me again, because I don't think I have another 28 years. By God's will, I may make it. Then if God chooses to take me, then I won't. And those are the losses that you will always face for being absent from this world and wishing that you would listen to the things your parents told you. Right at this day, I wish I could have listened to the things that my parents told me. I would be a lot farther than where I am now. Here I am, 52 years old, trying to make a life. School has got to be the best thing that you could ever do, because you cannot shovel at 60 years old. Right today, I'm facing not having a job. What am I going to do next? Unemployment, Social Security, it's not going to be here by the time you get older, son. So you need to take your time, go to school, listen to the people that are telling you right. And I am a prime example of a person that can tell you right. You do not want to live that life.
Hey, well, as Mr. Hutton told you, my name is Paula Freed. I'm a psychologist. And I wanted to come talk with you guys about something that I am just learning about myself. I'm kind of new to it. And it's something called meditation. You guys ever heard of that?
Yep.
Okay, what does it mean? Okay, now where have you seen that?
Movie.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's on all petitions. This dog's like, and floating in the sky, like,
And I'm not going to be able to teach you how to float in the sky, unfortunately. But I want to teach you some of the what people call the practices of meditation, and I want to first tell you why I think it might be a really important thing for you guys to learn about. And I brought you some pictures. Whoa! So first of all, do any of you guys happen to know who this guy is? Either of these guys?
No.
Oh, that's Michael Jordan and that's Kobe. Yeah, that's Michael Jordan, that's Kobe. Okay, see him?
Yeah,
And do you guys know who he's with?
the coaches.
Yeah, Phil Jackson. He teaches his players meditation. But part of why they're so successful, he says, and the players say, is because he taught them this really powerful tool called meditation. Okay, so you're in good company. Here's a whole another guy. This guy is named Vince Ferrero, I think is his name. And he has a really different story. He grew up in a really tough situation. His dad was in prison. He would take drugs to his dad in prison. He got in a whole lot of trouble himself. He went to prison himself. But strangely and wonderfully, when he got out of prison, his dad had gotten all cleaned up and was religious, and he started taking this guy to meetings, you know, to help him get on the straight and narrow, get off drugs. And along the way, he learned to meditate. And this Vince Ferraro guy, now what he does is he goes all around the country and he teaches kids like you how to meditate. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about meditation, and we're gonna practice some of it so that you guys can have some of these powerful tools that Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman and Kobe Bryant, all those guys have, okay?
Excuse me.
So, before I actually do a little practicing and meditating together, I want to tell you what the people who do it a lot, because like I said, I'm just really a beginner. I'm just getting started at it. But they say you learn a whole bunch of things from doing it. Okay, so here's one of the things you learn.
Can you tell the future?
No, you can't tell the future, but you know what you can tell? More about yourself. And it turns out getting to know yourself is one of the most important things that you can work on in life, is understanding yourself better. And meditation is a way of quieting yourself so you can learn more about yourself. And what we're going to do with meditation, it's really simple. We're just going to focus on our breathing, noticing our breathing. You know, you just do it all the time, right? But you don't usually pay attention to it. But you're always doing it, right? Or you wouldn't be alive. So we're going to just focus on our breathing. We're actually going to count our breathing. And what's going to happen when you do this is your mind's going to wander. Even though you're asking yourself to count your breaths, next thing you know, you're going to be thinking about something else. That is just part of the deal. Here's one of the lessons that people say you learn if you practice meditation about starting over. Because you constantly have to start over. Your mind wanders. That's what minds do. And you have to start over and start counting your breath again. So why do you think starting over is such an important thing to know about? Why would it be so important to know how to start over? Yeah.
Clears your mind.
Okay, it clears your mind. If you were a basketball player, if you were Michael Jordan, why would it be really good to know how to start over?
Like if you missed a three-point shot.
Exactly. Because you know what? If you're a basketball player, even if you're a great one, you're going to make mistakes, right? You're going to screw up sometimes, or someone's going to foul you, or someone's going to make you mad. And if you don't know how to start over in the next second, the game's ruined, right? You got to figure out how you can quickly start over. Where are other places that people need to start over?
Go life.
Yeah, like I can tell you, here's the situation that'll happen to me. You know, all my kids have moved out, but when they're all, off in college now, but when they were at home, we might have a little kind of argument in the morning because I had to set a limit or I had to, enforce a rule. And we'd leave for school and they'd be upset.
That happens with me too.
I know, it happens in every family. And you have to be able to start over. You have to be able to walk in the door at school and leave whatever happened behind, right? You got to be able to start over. Or like for me, I had to be able to leave the house and go to my office and start over. Otherwise my day would be ruined. What are other situations that come up for you guys during the day at school where you need to figure out how to start over, get a fresh start?
I hate people who make fun.
When you get a number.
Okay, so you get in trouble, and what does that feel like when you get in trouble? What are the feelings that you have after that?
Mr. Hutton.
Mad. Okay, what else?
Mr. Hutton, kill me.
Okay, you know that you're going to have to
Thanks a lot.
hear about it.
That's what I think every time.
Okay, so you know you're going to have to deal with Mr. Hutton about it. What else do you feel when you guys get in trouble, besides mad?
Miss Hutton.
Any other, is that the only feeling that goes with getting in trouble? What else?
I feel dumb.
You can be sad.
You can be sad.
Dumb.
You feel dumb sometimes, like, what was I thinking? Why did I do that?
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So all these feelings come up. This is what happens when you're a human. You just have feelings all the time. Thoughts and feelings, thoughts and feelings, thoughts and feelings. And you have to be able to start over. You have to be able to leave them behind. Get a fresh start. Like right now, we can just start over.
Okay.
Okay, I need you to take a break from me, and everybody can just sit kind of comfortably in your chair. I know this is going to feel kind of weird, but just remember, this is what Michael Jordan does, Kobe Bryant, all those guys. Close your eyes. Put your hands comfortably in your lap. Okay, and all we're going to do is just start with just paying attention to your breathing. Just noticing breathing. Some people notice it the most at their nose. They can feel the air going in and out of their nose, okay? Some people notice it most at their chest. They feel their chest going up and down. Some people notice it most at their belly, and they feel their belly going in and out. So wherever you notice it the most, just think about your breathing, okay? And every time you breathe out, just count quietly to yourself 1. On the next one, count 2, up to 4, and then start over again. Okay, so just stay here with me, just quietly counting your breaths, and your mind's going to wander. And that's okay.
See, Tay, your mind is really wandering, fool. Hey.
Some other ways to do it while they're playing, like at timeouts. When he would call a timeout, he would train them to be able to do it while they were running, to quiet their mind with different. You can use your breath, but there's lots of other things you can think about too. I do.
I got
sleepy. Yeah.
My mind was really loud.
Well, and here's what I want to tell you. When I've read, Phil Jackson's written a book, and I've read parts of his book. And you know what he says? The team spent as much time doing this kind of stuff in practice as they did doing free throws and dribbling and passing. They spent as much time meditating.
That's crazy.
I know, because he wanted his players to have that ability to discipline their mind. Because he knew that's what it would take for the teams to be successful. You know, they had to be able to discipline their mind. They had to know when to start over and shake things off, let things go, and this is what helped them. So, I'm just telling you guys, this is a powerful tool. You'll only get good at it if you practice it, okay? You can do it after you get in trouble at school. You can do it before you get in trouble at school. That's even better, right? Nobody would know if you're doing it. Think about how you might use this. You know, it might be a good thing to do in the morning before you head off to school. If things aren't going well at home, it might be a good thing to do when you get home from school.
Is there one that you can do it with your eyes open?
You can even do it with your eyes open.
But then
You can absolutely count your breaths with your eyes
But
open.
then you might go to something else. So then, like, if you're on the course, you might read it or something.
Right. That's why it's easier to close your eyes because it gets rid of the distractions. But if you can absolutely do this with your eyes open. If it just helps you quiet yourself wherever you are. I'm glad you asked that, because you could be standing in line waiting to get a drink and someone shoves you or says something mean and you can feel yourself starting to get mad. And what could you do? You could start over, right? You could come back to your breath. You could leave your eyes wide open so nobody knows what you're doing.
No, you would be like,
and you could just count your breaths.
you'd be like,
quietly
you
yourself.
little, hey, what's your name?
You can start over. So you could use this everywhere.
Make his face and be like,
Tosh. Hey, but before she goes, you guys answer a couple questions for me. Tosh.
yes, I'm good. Now let's go.
But it's just like now. Why do you think sometimes it's so important to act silly and stupid? Just like there. I mean, no, and not silly and stupid, but when people are telling you not to do something, why you feel you got to be making gestures or doing dumb things, why do you do those things?
Sometimes if I'm mad at them, or if I don't feel like doing my work.
Huh? Or you don't feel like doing your work?
Yeah, sometimes.
So you act stupid so you get out of doing your work?
No,
So
I do it at recess.
Huh? You do it at recess, but then what happens?
I get a number.
Huh? But you know, why do you every day, why so many times if people give you a number for something, why don't you see the importance of not doing that again? Because you keep doing the same things over and over again, don't you? Huh? Don't you keep getting in trouble for the same things a lot of times?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
But if you know something's going to get you in trouble, why keep doing it? Huh? But see, it's just like meditation. That's part of self-control. You know, okay, you have to say to yourself, if I got in trouble for doing this before, I shouldn't do that again. Right? And you should try not to, but you don't make the effort. You just say, I'm going to go and be stupid again today. You know, Anthony, school, right? That she got in a fight and she got arrested today. And I was talking to her just last week at the high school about changing her attitude. One of the things, and it's even like with Anthony, and when you guys you're playing baseball now, why it's so important to do things and stick with it. Because when you don't, it's just like you. Huh? This is what the final deal is. Hey, Todd.
Yes, sir.
It's all about us starting to be building character. It's all about us starting to be men. Hey, listen, wait. How many of you have your original dad living in the house with you? Raise your hand. Do you have your dad living in your house with you?
Raise the roof. My dad's in Mississippi.
Oh, but he's not here living with you, right?
Nope.
Now listen.
My dad left me like 6
Okay,
months.
okay, hey.
2.
Now listen. Hey, Aaron.
Ow.
Because really,
6 weeks.
hey, because really, this is what the real thing is really all about. That, hey, look at me. Everybody look at me just 1 minute. Look at me just a minute. I'm the... Listen. Look, ain't none of y'all mine. Ain't anybody that I worked with for 25 years my blood. You understand? It's always been somebody else's kid whose dad has left them. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I want to say this one last thing to you. If there's nothing else in life that you remember about Mr. Hutton, you remember this one thing. When you get married and you have a family, I don't...
leave the kids.
That's exactly, because you've heard me say it before. Don't you listen. When I'm looking down, I'll probably be looking up. I might not make it to heaven, excuse me. But listen, wherever I'm at, later on in life, and I'm seeing y'all, do not leave your kids like somebody left you. Because listen, we can say meditation, we can say all of these other words, but that's really the reason why because y'all don't have a dad at your home that every time you, like you, if you was my boy, every time you messed up, excuse me. But listen, but it's out of love. It's out of making you become a man. Yeah, but you're going to get it. That's all right. You'll remember. All right.
I want to say one thing.
Yes, go ahead. Let her, hey.
That I get what Mr. Hutton's telling you, and I think it's really important. And I really agree with him that having a dad not at home is a really bad deal.
Oh yeah,
But
did you?
here's something- I did have a dad at home. I was
You don't
lucky.
know how fun my
But
dad
here's
was.
something I want to tell you.
Listen a
Just
minute.
because
Taylor.
you don't have a dad at home doesn't mean you can't be an amazing man yourself.
That's exactly right.
It's not your destiny. Just the way your family is, good or bad, is not limiting you at all.
How you have to
can
be.
be whoever you want to be.
Sometimes when I see sometimes like I see brand new neighbors and there's 2 black little kids and they have
Come
a
on,
dad.
Aaron, stop it
One of
before you
them's like
tip
6
something
and
over.
one of them's like 3, and they have a dad and they were playing with them in the backyard. And I was watching and I went, why can't I have a dad?
Yeah, I bet. I bet that made you sad.
Yeah.
And maybe a little mad too.
Aaron, Tay, and Ty, say thank you for her helping you to go to camp.
Thank you.
Okay. Sitting right here, the big guy right here, this is Anthony, who I met, 2 years ago at Homework Helpers. Young man has a lot of ability, thinks he's going to be a ball player just by showing up when he's out of school, right? Has no idea, right? But is a lazy, right? Now, but you tell me something. Why do you sit around in ELO every week, right, with your finger in your ass most of the time? You explain that to me. No, you bullshit. You don't do it in ELO. You don't do it in ELO. Bullshit. Very, very seldom do I see you in ELO doing a goddamn thing other than sitting there with your head down or your finger in your... Right? Tell the truth. But tell me why. Why are most of the guys there just wasting their time?
I mean, I don't know, like a place
Talk a little louder.
they can just sit and chill.
Yeah, but when do you expect work to get done?
I mean, I try to get mine done in my classroom.
Well, how in the hell do you say you try to get it done in your classroom and you always getting F's? That means shit ain't getting done, right? See, she's telling you how the books and how the fancy things are saying. But the things that I have to, and sometimes you guys say, why do I cuss? You know?
It's good for you.
No, it isn't. It's because for 28 or 29 years, I've been dealing with the same young people, not you, but like you, winding up in jail. Now, you might think it sounds stupid, but am I right or am I wrong, Anthony? Where are most of school, and no, not just Bookie, but where are most of them winding up at? Or dropping out of school, right? And listen, put the cup down and hold it right. But that's what, hey, listen to what I'm saying. But this is why. It's because they can't control themselves. You see what I'm saying? It's because when somebody keeps telling you to stop something, keep doing it. Over and over. Hey, look, you say when you do something, you know I'm going to be mad, right?
Yeah.
Keep doing it, aren't you?
No.
But you do? Didn't you get in trouble again last week? You asked.
How?
Huh? Didn't you get in trouble last Friday?
I didn't get detention.
But that's what I'm saying. You gotta stop, and it gotta change now. It can't, hey, listen to me. It can't happen next week. It can't happen next year. Every little dumb thing you keep doing. She's in something called psych counsel. At the high school, they track, you understand? Every time you get detention, every time you go to ISS, don't they put a mark by it?
I don't keep track, but
No.
you're right, someone does.
At the school.
Absolutely, someone knows.
You understand?
Right.
And that's the same thing the police do. Every little dumb thing you do, starting now, they put your name down and they put a check mark, right? And every check mark you get is another year when they finally do start sentencing you that you're going to be in jail.
Denny Darby, I failed 4 classes. I had to take summer school, and I still got 2 classes to make up.
So really, man, didn't you wind up wasting most of last year? Huh?
Yeah.
Now look, man, next week you're getting ready to start school again, right? You know what we got to do, right?
Yeah.
We ain't going to let that happen again, are we?
No.
All right. Hey, but again, Anthony, you see how easy it is to waste, didn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
And like I said, now next year already, not only taking the class you need to, but you got to hustle to make up to, right? You gonna do it?
Yeah.
This is Taj. This is Tay. This is Mike. Listen, man, these 2 are brothers right here. Yeah, they're twins. They're actually twins. Man, my wife is taught. Hey, come on. My wife is taught. Hey, listen, come on. We don't have much time, please. My wife has taught kindergarten for 41 years, man. She just retired. But this year, man, these 2 dudes were always in the office. And she said she got tired of seeing it. So she said, man, hey, start dealing with them. So that's why we're here. And that's why I got them. But basically, let me just say this to you. You guys are in basketball camp for the first time. They're in Heart of America for the first time. Guy over there said you're doing well. Like we've been doing the last time we've been filming. Man, I'm trying to get people to tell you, hey, listen, don't mess your lives up. Listen to the story. You know how the other people, how Pookie talked to you? He just got out. Listen to the story that he has to tell you. Go ahead, Mike. Start.
Well, my name is Michael Jackson. I'm 27 years old. Currently attending Brown Mackey College here in Salina, Kansas. Basketball scholarship. All right, man. Basically, when I was 16 years old, I was going to school in Wichita, Kansas, where I'm from. When I was 16 years old, me and an acquaintance of mine, we robbed a couple, I guess, different convenience stores. We ended up getting caught. Ultimately, I went to prison from the time I was 19 till I was 24. Got out, decided that, just stuff like that wasn't worth my life, and tried to get back into it, to the game of basketball, get my education. So, contacted Coach Flax. He gave me the opportunity to come here and play, and it worked out for me pretty good. I just graduated my business diploma from Brown Mackey. I'm about to leave and attend Missouri S&T next year. And while I was here at Brown Mackey, I made first team All-Region, third team All-American. I was highly recruited because of NCAA rules. I couldn't go to anyone, but everything's worked out for me. But the path that I've taken hasn't been the easiest, but it hasn't been the smoothest. It's probably some opportunities that I could have capitalized on coming from high school had I not went the route that I went. Me and you might not be here talking today, but it is what it is. It's led me to this point, and I just want each one of y'all to know that it's not worth it being in the office or whatever it is. Like it's ways to have fun and still be cool, but you don't have to draw so much attention to yourself and be the class clown. Not that you were, but just saying that it's better to do the things that your parents want you to do, the things that you know are right inside of you, than it is to do the wrong things.
What about, Mike, the friends you've seen fall by the wayside?
Man, I'm trying. As early as I can remember is probably how old are you? 11. All of y'all 11. As early as I can say, about to say 11. I think my first friend got shot in the face. He passed away. It was tough, and pretty much ever since then, I mean, I've had, and I can honestly maybe count on one hand, the friends that have made it and have done something with their lives. The friends kids that have either died, been incarcerated, or just being in prison, locked up, jail, whatever, whatever you want to call it, just breaking the law and having to pay the consequences for it.
How come you figured out something?
It was actually an accident. That was an accident, well, so to speak. It was a drug-related incident. His cousin was high off. I can't remember what it was. Nah, it wasn't K2. It wasn't K2. But his cousin shot him. He was playing around, pulled the gun on him, and he didn't mean for it to go off, but it did. And that was probably one of the hardest things I had to deal with, being with like in the I think going into the 6th grade, having to go to one of my best friend's funerals. Like I was with him every day, and then one day we get up and he's not there, and I've been dealing with that ever since then.
Like what? Tell them what it's like being in prison to be locked up every day, and particularly at a young age. You'll be there in just a minute. You're there.
For me, it wasn't fun. I mean, that was the first time I'd ever been in any type of trouble. As far as legal trouble, of course, I had run-ins with my parents and everything like that, but nothing major. You just go from having that freedom, being able to, wear the bracelets, being able to just dress how you want to dress. Any sense of individuality that you have, however you want to wear your hair, however you want to dress, however you want to wear your shoes, whatever it is, that's all stripped away from you. Like, you don't have that. You won't get a chance to do what you want to do, what you feel comfortable doing. That's taken from you. You got to do what the state says you have to do. You have to get up at a certain time and eat. You have to go to sleep at a certain time. You have to shower at a certain time. Like it's just uncomfortable. And then being young, I would say for me, it was a huge wake up call, a major adjustment that I had to make in my life, because I went from basically being a kid, 16 years old, having the freedom to go hang out with my friends, to having to be an adult. I was in an adult situation. I had to always watch my back, wonder, what's going to happen next. And that's just not the life that we were put here on earth to live.
Just one last thing. You made a very good point when we talked earlier. You said something about not having to go back and make up for the mistakes or something. If you remember how you put that, yeah,
we were on the phone. I just feel it's important that young kids and just everybody in general, you try to take advantage of every opportunity that's given to you, because like myself, going down the wrong path, I've had to go back at the age of 27 now. I mean, there's a lot of kids, 18, 19, 20, that they have this opportunity in front of them. Some of them are squandering it away, not going to class and everything like that. And for me, I've had to look back and see that I had to go back. I just had to go back and try to rebuild my life from where I was at one point to where I am now. And it's just a harder process to do. Me still being on parole, I have a situation right now where I have a full ride scholarship to Missouri S&T, but we're not. I'm pretty sure everything's gonna work out, but right now we're going through the ins and outs of trying to make sure everything's
from the parole side.
From a parole standpoint, in order for me to go and still be able to go to school, participate in basketball and everything like that. So, what I was talking to you about earlier was just taking advantage of all the opportunities that are given to you first and foremost, so you don't have to go back and travel the rough, bumpy roads of getting everything back in line.
Hi, my name is Joshua Ishman. I'm from Gary, Indiana, currently residing in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm 22 years old. I was bequeathed a project by Kevin Iger Jeff, who has a relationship in the Salina community, in which last year I had taught at Kansas Wesleyan University, and then was asked to do this project with Matt Camp, and so happily obliged.
Again, we're here with Aaron and Taj. Tay isn't with us this time. Like I said, the brother of Taj. But again, like I said, if you would start out talking to him about the discipline of and the importance of education from what you've seen.
From the major points that I've seen is the more you know, the more you can accomplish, the more you can gain. No matter what the subject is especially the more you know about yourself and your heritage and the descendancy you come from, is that there are a lot of things inside of our own history that can help to teach us and influence us to make a better future. The past is only a series of lessons learned that you can use in the present to make a different future, so that you don't repeat the same mistakes as before.
And when you talk about the mistakes, what do you see happening to so many young black boys in the inner cities?
Oh, especially being from an inner city like Gary, Indiana, which was like the former murder capital of America, besides Detroit and LA at one point, was that we get, and saying we because I was a part of the generation, we get caught up in not knowing any better type of thing, and that saying that because people put on this facade that the gangster life is the way to go, and you know there are all the things that you do don't really have any consequences, and every choice you have has a consequence, every last one of them. I went to a academic achievement school and ended up going to a school more central in the hood, just pretty much, and I saw everything in that. It was a completely different environment that all of a sudden the dialect of everybody changed, the demeanor of everybody changed. My best friend got stopped.
What's that mean?
Huh?
What's that mean?
What's up?
He got stomped on?
Yeah, they got into an argument over a basketball game, and because he wasn't even involved in the original debacle, he was actually trying to prevent it from happening. But instead of grabbing the person that we were trying to get out of the fight, he grabbed the guy that was losing the fight, which wasn't on our side in lamest terms. And so that guy's best friend came, laid him out on the floor, and I was in the 7th grade at the time, so every 8th grader jumped off the bleachers and stomped him.
Did he die?
No. He just got luckily he was able to ball up, so he didn't really get hurt that much. He got a bruised rib, and his tooth ended up going through his lip. So when he got up, half of his face was covered in blood.
What about in Chicago, the number of students that have been killed in the school?
Chicago public school system is really sad to a degree, because they get caught inside of that same genre of life, if you will, and no one tells them any better. They just yell at them for being in it, as if that wasn't the first thing that they could have learned. It's not their only option. It's just the first thing they could have learned. And just working inside the Chicago public school system is shown me that a lot of them are almost trained to think that their world is, especially for African Americans, the South Side of Chicago. That's pretty much all you're going to get. The fact that they can look at downtown like it's so far away and it's 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes away, and they look at it like it's
another world.
Like it's a whole different place. Like the road ends once you get to Lakeshore Drive, and it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy.
But young boys like this, you're teaching dance, the disciplines that you've had to go through. But just like with these young guys, who a lot of times it seems like they think they're clowning and playing, but how the little things keep adding up in their lives as negatives, and the consequences that they wind up with. I mean,
yeah. Saying I always remember my first grade teacher saying, she said, "You lie, you steal, you kill. You kill, and there's no turning back." And it just shows that matriculation process to say that if you do one bad thing, it could lead to another bad thing. It could lead to a worse thing. And so if you let it progress in that way, then and do nothing to stop it. That was what got me out of that whole lifestyle, was that I don't like being normal. I really despise the concept of normality, to say that just because I'm a part of the environment means I have to be that. And yes, I grew up with hood people, very, very hood people. But that didn't mean that that was what I was supposed to be. And so I was like, okay, I found a way to get out. I found Gary actually had performing art school, and I had been dancing since I was 8. So I said, okay, that's my way out. I'm going there so I can get out of this environment. I don't need this. My world is bigger than this, and I have too much to accomplish to end it all here.
But Aaron and Taj, I mean, as we've been going around the last few months, do you get a better understanding of the importance of trying to make something of yourselves now? Yeah. Of making sure that you don't wind up failing in school. I mean, winding up in the principal's office every day. Yeah, but like I said, Aaron, that's really the thing with you. You do fairly well in school, but your goddamn mouth and your attitude always get you in bullshit, right? Huh? Right? You're always pushing the button over the edge, right? Yeah, and that's the shit you got. Because again, like I said, you'll wind up getting caught being in the wrong place at the wrong time. You won't be the thing,
the person that did it.
Right?
You
Yeah.
just happen to be an accessory.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Hey.
And just being real, because I know people that have been accessories. Accessories get the same amount of time. Right. Just because you were there, just because you happen to be in the wrong place, you could be the person to get shot instead of the person committing the act. I've seen it. Trust and believe, Gary ain't a safe place. It's really not. It's really
They're blessed
not.
to be in Salina, aren't they? Yeah.
And so, Salina?
Yeah. What? Tell them too. What about the importance of their appearance? I mean, how they're seen.
As a person who likes to be different, I can say image creates certain things based on the persona that it is that you want to put on for other people. Now, I'm not saying other people's opinions of you matter, depending on the circumstances. So, let's say this. Like, I know during my whole generation, sagging was a really big epidemic. Sagging was like the worst of the worst, because everybody did it. Now, you know how to spell sagging?
Spell what?
Sagging.
S-A-G-N.
S-A-G-G-I-N-G.
No, drop the last G.
S-A-G-G-I-N.
Okay, now spell that backwards.
Nigga.
See, hey, you got me on that one, huh?
And so that's what the term came from, is that white Anglo-Saxon police made that up to identify that.
If they sagged and they were a gangster?
9 times out of 10. And so they would literally call it in like, hey, I got a sagger. And pretty much they were saying like, yo, I got me another nigga. Got me another nigga for the quota. And so it's getting caught inside all of that. You don't want it.
Yeah, but right.
And just so you know that the other saying for that, just in case you didn't know it, was that, Say what? No. Sagging was also known as a jailhouse term. Jailhouse, and in the jailhouse, if you sagged, that meant you were open for business.
How can you sag if you're wearing that understand?
No, not everybody wears a jumpsuit. Sometimes you get it's a slack and a t-shirt. Now the thing is, if you sagged in your slacks, that meant that you wanted something in it. That means that you were homosexual and you wanted somebody to put it up your bunghole. So you were making it as accessible as possible.
Like when they drop the soap.
Yes.
Right.
That's exactly what that meant. And so that was the underlying, way to tell people that, hey, that's what I want. That's why you got a whole bunch of people getting out of jail and sagging, because that's what happened to them in the pen.
Terrence Newman for a Kansas State touchdown from 51 yards. With just 32 seconds to go in the half, the kick blocked. Kansas State blocked it. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. He's at midfield, to the 40, he's to the 30, Newman to the 20, he is going to score! Oh my goodness, can you believe it?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? My name is Chris Allison, Sports Director at EBC Radio in Salina, and this year the sideline reporter for Kansas State football on the Mid-America Sports Network. And I have the pleasure today of introducing our guest of honor, Terrence Newman. The outstanding football player from right here in Salina. As all of you know, Terrence is preparing for the NFL draft. We are very, very fortunate that he has taken time out of his busy schedule to be with us here today.
I want to share a few words about some of the things that I remember about Terrence and Hutton School. They were not good. I'm not going to tell all the bad things, Terrence. We're delighted to be here to share some of these things of the success of him being a good athlete. But most of all, we want to share how Terrence has become an outstanding citizen. And I think that is a tribute to his family upbringing. And we hope that we at Hawthorne played an important role in this.
Well, Ms. Gay monitored Terrence's performance in the school hallways at other Salinan. CORNEL Hutton, the man at the camera, was coaching this young man in Salvation Army football, city recreation, and YMCA programs. Come on up, CORNEL, and share some of your memories of Terrence Newman.
His words were just keep it nice. Really, there's a lot of tremendous things that I could say about Terrence. A lot of things other people are going to get up and say. The things I'd like to say that I remember is Terrence came up in a time when crack cocaine and being in the gangs were really the kind of scenario of the day. And because of many of the things that Mrs. Gay did, really many of the young boys that were in the group with him really were able to overcome. Some of the young boys that were with him that were close friends are in jail today. But he's really a product of someone who really worked hard, showed a lot of determination, and succeeded. One thing I'd like to do, I'd like to really thank and really pay a lot of contributions to this community, because one of the things that happened during the time when Terrence came up was the Salvation Army allowed me to form teams of all of the young boys, primarily all black boys that were in our community. They waived all of the fees so that these young boys that normally probably would not be able to afford to play, they were able to play. The rec department always allowed us to participate in baseball. I don't know if Coach Ken Cochran is here that used to be at Marymount. For over 15 years, he's allowed me to get young minority kids into Heart of America basketball camp for free. So really, Terrence certainly is a success, but really this community is a success for all of the little things that it does to provide opportunities for many of the young people in our community. A couple of quick little things, and I just got rid of the old van, Terrence, the other day, took it down to Fuller Auto Salvage. This old brown van, and I used to have an old truck. Sometimes there'd be so many kids in the back of it, it would be, I'm surprised that police didn't stop us and arrest us. But that's how we used to commute back and forth to games. Really, we used to have a lot of fun. I don't know if you remember all the lectures I used to give you, all the time I used to want to bust you upside your head. Because really, it was amazing. Not just Terrence, but a lot of these young guys. They were contrarians. They just didn't want to listen. And they finally met an old dude that was tougher than what they were and who just wouldn't let them run him around. And like I said, man, I really, from the bottom of my heart, Terrence, I mean, I just can't say how proud I am of you. But there's one last thing I would like to say, because really there are many issues in this country that are going to be possibly very divisive issues in this country. One of the things that I am most proud of Terrence is that Terrence has a diploma. He can make all of the $1 million in the world, and that would be good. And for you young kids that are watching today, for an old man like me, many of you, or none of you probably, will be the athlete he is. But all of you can get a piece of paper, and that's what's going to be so important. And I used to tell Terrence and all of the young boys that were down at Hawthorne School with Mrs. Gay, it used to be against the law for blacks in this country to learn to read and write. And you kids are not going to school and trying to get an education. And you probably remember, T, I would always, maybe once or twice a month, remind them of that. that people died for that right to you to get that education. So as I said, man, all of the money you make, all of the other things you do, the thing that Mr. Hutton will be proud of is that piece of paper. God bless you.
But this is just a special day for me. You know, I'm honored to be here. I'm honored for you guys to have a day named after me. You know, I won the Thorpe Award. I was named All-American. But you know, more importantly to me, I think that being a student athlete, you know, the thing that you have to learn to deal with is to try to help other people. You know, young people's lives, and I cherish that more than I do the awards. You know, that means a lot to me, and you know, I love working with kids. So, you know, if people ask me, you know, how do you feel winning this award? You know, I feel good, but you know, the thing that makes me feel good at the end of the day is if I'm able to help somebody else, you know, help them through a problem or something. And I'd like to just to thank everybody that spoke here today. I'd like to thank you guys for giving me this day. And
Irving, Texas, Terrence Newman became interested in being a role model as a high school student athlete after a wonderful mentoring experience from a friend's father, CORNEL Hutton. The lessons learned during those earlier rambunctious days and the watchful guidance of Hutton is now paying dividends for 10 Dallas area 9th grade football students, athletes, and our highly acclaimed National Football Foundation's Play It Smart program.
This is the last time we're filming for this little documentary, A Message to Black Boys. I mean, apparently, a lot of the things that I've been trying to talk to you over the summer about really hasn't worked. Taj, you're still having problems with your mom over little dumb things. It's just like they're in a restaurant. I mean, because you got the wrong sandwich, at least you were getting ready to eat. I mean, you ain't have to, you know, act like some little crybaby little bitch all the time. Like I said, that's the stupid thing, man. Like I said, stop making little molehill things wind up in the big thing for you guys. But listen to me, look at you guys and plead with you guys. You're getting ready next week to go into 6th grade. This is going to be one of the most important and critical times for you. Like I said, you've got to make sure that you start out grade-wise doing the best that you can. You see what I'm saying? And just like Mr. Martin talked about his boy, always getting 95s all through school, there's no reason why you guys can't do it. It's a matter of studying. It's a matter of making a much greater effort. You know, you guys know Terrence Newman, the guy that plays for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, like I told you, I started with him when he was your size. So what I'm saying to you is, you guys can decide which road you're going to go down. You see what I'm saying? You've seen the good, and you've seen some of the bad things that can happen in people's lives. But what I'm saying to you is, too many young black boys are winding up in jail on stupid little situations, and I don't want that to happen to you three. So please, like I said, man, starting out next week when you start back to school, try as hard as you possibly can.
Many students fail today, not because they don't know what to say. Many students fail to achieve because they don't know what to believe. I'm begging you, won't you please stay in school and try and try.